Hello everyone, and welcome to my channel. I'm Reina Creole, bringing you that spice to sci-fi and pop culture analysis. And in this video, I'm going to do a quick out of the theater review of Ghostbusters Frozen Empire. I've had a very long work day today, so I was looking forward to going to the theater and just enjoying a movie, have a couple laughs, and take another stroll down memory lane with respect to Ghostbusters. So, you're probably wondering what this film is about, right? Well, y'all know the deal. Some crazy supernatural ish pops off, and it's connected to some crazy artifact. So, who you gonna call? Ghostbusters 2.0, that's who. And this time it has nothing to do with Gozer the Gozerian, but with some lanky creature with horns who is some horror fantasy incarnation of Sub-Zero from Mortal Kombat in a way. And then you throw in some over-the-top fan service, family drama, teen angst, slacker young adults, and boomers boomering, and you've got Ghostbusters Frozen Empire. And honestly, I don't know if this bodes well for the Ghostbusters franchise, but hey, we're going to delve into that. But before we do, please do your girl a favor. Please do hit that subscribe button. And once you do, make sure you hit that notification bell so that you can be notified when your girl has hot, fresh content for you to enjoy. So with that said, let's get to my review of this film. As I said, your girl was looking forward to a nice, fun movie after a very long work day. I went to go see this in RPX, the enhanced experience. Did not pay extra for that experience. It's apparently, since I have Regal Unlimited, I got boosted for free. So that was actually pretty cool. But anyway, back to the film. So this film, it's set 3 years after the events of Ghostbusters Afterlife. And the veteran Ghostbusters must join forces with their new recruits to save the world in New York City from a powerful, death-chilling adversary. I guess that's what they're calling it, who seeks to build a spectral army. Now, the film opens funny enough with the Spanglers. Paul Rudd's character, he's basically a Spangler, chasing down the Hell's Kitchen sewer dragon. Now, I thought the sewer dragon was kind of funny, especially if you've ever been in the Hell's Kitchen part of New York City. So I thought that was a quick, nice laugh. But the fun in this is quick to slide into family drama, and then you add on more new characters to this film than you can shake a stick at. Add in an artifact whose history indicates a group of Ghostbusters that were busting ghosts long before the heroes we know. Then you go toss in our OG Ghostbuster heroes, and this film is just bogged down. I mean, it's dragging its ass across the carpet like a dog with worms, seriously. And additionally, to the film's detriment, there were definitely less laughs in this one, and it trended more towards trying to be a horror film than a horror comedy. Ghostbusters Afterlife did a much better job of the balance of horror and comedy, which is what makes Ghostbusters such a fun franchise. But I lost sight of that, and it's a real shame because that's truly the magic of this franchise. Is you got a lot of comedy, you throw some bits of horror in there, you have the horror balance, with the comedy, and that's the winning formula. But they deviated away from that. So I talked about my biggest nitpick with this film being all of these extra characters. that that aren't needed. First, you have Nadim, and this guy is like the slacker grandson who pawned off the artifact his late grandmother and generations before her have been protecting. He pawned that off to Ray Stantz. Okay. And it's obvious that this thing is like full of psychokinetic energy. I mean, it basically blew up the PK meter. So anyway, the artifact is actually a prison for a very pissed off and dangerous god villain. Turns out this guy, his superpower, he is the fire master. That sounds a little too close to keymaster, doesn't it? And his character is just too convenient and unnecessary. I guess they tried to include this guy as like comic relief, but frankly, no. I mean, Kumail Nanjiani, I do like him. I didn't like him in Eternals at all, but I've liked him in other things, especially his performance as Soman Banerjee in Welcome to Chippendales. That was freaking awesome. But in this, he's comic relief, and it's not really good. Good comic relief. Could have done without him. Melody, this character. Okay, so she's like the ghost, ghost character. She was too convenient and unnecessary as well. I mean, Phoebe meets her in the middle of the night in New York City. A teenage girl out at night in New York City. Okay, that was stupid. Just it didn't make sense. And honestly, if Mel I'm getting the names mixed up. If Melody had protected Phoebe from a mugger, I might have liked this character a bit more, but the whole thing with Melody being a ghost, Phoebe feeling that she understands her, only to get betrayed by her later. It was too much like something from the CW and extremely out of place for a Ghostbusters movie. The film would have been better served had her character been yeeted into like the neutral zone or something and had that focus put on the villain and the villain's backstory instead. Because during the final boss fight, turns out it's her, not Nadim the Fire Master, who provides the necessary ammo for him to fight this god villain. I could have done without Melody's character. It was, I mean, you could see exactly what she was being used for, and it wasn't a surprise. So to me, her character felt like a waste of my time. Anyway, notice how I keep saying God villain, right? And why do I keep saying this? Because the villain character is so two dimensional. I didn't even remember the name. It wasn't even worth me remembering. I mean, Gozer, I remember. Vince Clortho and Vigo, I remember. But this ice rock dude with the horns was so not a sinister villain. He didn't even warrant me trying to remember his name. Now, how messed up is that? You know? Ugh. Patton Oswalt. Now, surprisingly, he didn't annoy the crap out of me in this. And that's probably because he doesn't have enough screen time to actually do it, which is a good thing. His appearance in this film is very limited. Thank God for small favors when it comes to that. Speaking of previous characters that we've seen from Afterlife, like podcasts, I'm glad he's back. He's gotten taller, and I wish there was more of him in his film. The actor seems to just be having a blast, and he's fun. I really would have liked more scenes between him and Ray Stantz. I mean, they had some, you know, with kind of Ray getting into that, whole YouTube creator type of thing. Those of you who are YouTube creators will get it. Again, I just wish there was more of that. Slimer the ghost, I'm telling you, boyfriend is showing his age. He's no longer cute, gross, and funny. He's just gross, which is which is a shame. They just need to let Slimer get eaten by the Hell's Kitchen sewer dragon and be done with it. But anyway, the little Stay Puft Marshmallow Men, their shelf life has definitely expired. I mean, they were funny in Afterlife, but they were they weren't needed in this except to sell merchandise. I mean, and especially the scene where the Marshmallow Men are basically throwing themselves at the glass, pretty much yeeting themselves when they come in contact with the quote unquote artifact. Mm, yeah. The final boss scene is so freaking predictable. I mean, as a fan, I really felt let down by that. It wasn't interesting, and honestly, I really didn't care what happened, which is a shame. I cared about the OG characters, but they conveniently got pushed out of the way, or is it frozen out of the way? So that Phoebe, played by McKenna Grace, so she had the MacGuffin, God kill the villain. What is that? Oh, well, she happens to dip the conductor. I forget which part of the proton pack that it's from, but basically the ones that they had, I believe, were made of copper, but there's no more copper wire at the firehouse because all the crackheads basically took it out in the 80s, no, 90s, I believe. So Phoebe decides to use bronze, and Nadim's late grandmother had a whole like escape room covered in bronze to imprison this god and that artifact. So of course she dips that part of her proton pack in bronze, and she is the only one to do it. Yeah. So you see where that's going. So anyway, there is one mid-credit scene, and all I'll say is think of Stephen King's film Maximum Overdrive. Actually gave me a little chuckle there. So final thoughts about Ghostbusters Frozen Empire. I give this film a 6 out of 10. And that probably seems a little high, but Eh, point of personal privilege, and I'll get to that in a little bit. Despite all the fun to be had by fans with regards to all the callbacks, there were just too many characters in this movie and so much fan service that you could predict what would happen. It tried to do too much too fast, and as a result, it is nowhere near as endearing as Afterlife or as you start again. It's nowhere near as endearing as Afterlife and Ghostbusters 2, and it's a shell of what the original Ghostbusters film was. Now, reportedly, there are 3 sequels, with 2 of them already out. Going by this last film, the franchise just needs to chill the heck out and get more creative before a 3rd sequel. Of course, Frozen Empire is a hell of a lot better than that Ghostbusters movie that shall not be named. Besides, it's been retconned out of existence by Afterlife anyway. So even with all of its flaws, Ghostbusters Frozen Empire, it's still a fun popcorn movie. Like I said, I had fun watching it in RPX. I enjoyed it. But honestly, if you can wait for it to come out on streaming, do that instead. It's not something to really rush out and see. I mean, the trailer did its job of making me excited enough to go and see the film. But after seeing the film, it's just like, yeah, I think the trailer was better than the movie. Oh, the point of personal privilege that I was talking about. Okay, so Originally, I was going to give this a 5 out of 10, but I'm going to give it a 6 out of 10 because I am so glad Celeste O'Connor, her performance in this film as Lucky, made me forget she was ever in Madam Web. So that's my point of personal privilege to put there on the top of this. All right, so folks, you let me know in the comments. Are you interested in seeing Ghostbusters Frozen Empire? And if you've seen it, do you think that the franchise has run out of gas, or do you think there's enough for one more go? And if so, are they going to be able to capture that lightning in a bottle that happened with Ghostbusters 1 and 2, and to a lesser extent, but still endearing, Afterlife? Let me know in the comments. So with that said, folks, we're going to wrap up this video. And if you got some value out of it, please do hit that like button. Make sure that you're subscribed to my channel, and I will see you next time. Bye.